So here's my garden update. I'm going to start with the raised bed here. This is my yellow pear tomato. And as you can see, it's gotten pretty tall. I can't even reach the top anymore to trim it. It needs a good haircut, and I just can't reach. So whenever the hubs is not working, I'm going to make him drag out his ladder and give everything a good trim. Yellow pear still. And then they're kind of tangled here in between each other. This little yellow funky tomato, I don't even know what it's called. It was supposed to be a big rainbow. I think things got a little confused because it is definitely not a big rainbow. But if I show you in here, you'll see all the tomatoes it's putting on in there, here, there. I mean, tomatoes everywhere and way up above. And as we go next to it, this is supposed to be an Armenian cucumber, and I don't think it is. I think it's just a regular cucumber. We've already had harvested one, and maybe you can see way back there a little baby one coming to fruition. This also goes up an 8-foot pole, and it has joined with the black crim tomatoes. I don't know if you see a little bee in there pollinating it. Again, that's the tip of an 8-foot pole, and you see the black crims go even higher. We have been enjoying these. They are so delicious. Little funky one here. Got a big old sucker there. A nice one here that's starting to turn color and ripen. And this one we're really waiting for. He's huge, about the size of my palm. They have been cracking. That's my black crim going all the way up. Down below, that's a clone of the black crim. And over here in between the yellow pear and the little orange ones, I've got lettuce growing. There's a Terra liquid ant bait. I think it's just really borax and sugar, because the ants have made their home in here. Next to the black crim is another black crim clone, just doing well. Back here is a little purple bell. This is an orange bell, and this is actually the whole plant. So if you look at here, there, that's all the same plant. And I do have some bell peppers finally growing. I'm very happy about this. This pepper has been through hell and back. It's had so many infestations of different bugs, but it's finally producing. Behind it is a squash plant. The only remaining squash plant that has survived. And I didn't have a beetle problem until recently. And you'll see all the little holes in the squash plant that the beetles have been munching on. And it's had a neem oil spray. And actually everything's had a neem oil spray, everything in this bed. And here at the end is another bell pepper plant. It's a purple. See a little pepper there? And a little baby pepper right there. And this tomato is the end, the very end of the bed. And I believe this is a big beef tomato. See how high that's just kind of going. Right next to it, I have 2 earth boxes. This one has some pole beans that have just sprouted. These are Royal Burgundy potted beans, I believe. So the beans will be purple, which I'm looking forward to. Anything that's purple I can get my son to eat. Next to it is a Cubanelle, and it was a great producer, and then it just stopped producing, and it's barely starting to get new leaves and new little flowers in there. I don't know if you can see that. In front of it, I had a stevia plant, and I think they were competing. The stevia got quite large, so I pulled it out, and I just decided to put it in my garden, my flower bed. Here are onions. These are candy onions. These were bunching onions, and now they've, the little like scallion onions, but they've gotten huge. So I just use them as regular white onions. If I go along here, this is a peach tree we've actually put in our flower bed, and it's doing really nicely. It has put on a lot of new green growth. Next to it is the stevia plant, and it is really bushy. I actually cut about 1/3 of it off before I replanted it. So it's gotten huge. Next to that I've got some roses, and that monster right there is an asparagus fern. It is so huge, I'm going to have to cut it back, and I'm actually thinking about just pulling it out. Okay, so we're going to come around, and here are my blueberry bushes. These are quite big. That's one pot there. Right next to it is another pot. This one here is a sunshine blue, southern high bush. This one here is called bountiful blue, which I believe is a southern high bush. And this one is emerald, which is the southern high bush. And this one is the one that produced the blueberries the size of a quarter. If I go around the corner, you'll see some really sad looking melons. This melon has been infected with everything. Bugs, fungal problems, bacterial problems, you name it, it's had it. And hence, I've had to pull all these leaves off because they were just gone, too infested. But don't give up hope. I've got a melon. And it looks like the new leaves are nice and healthy. So I'm very happy about that. On the other side of the blueberries is my jalapeno. And this guy is huge. It's almost as tall as I am. And I don't know if you can tell, it has a ton of jalapenos on it. So many, in fact, that it's dropping jalapenos. It's just kind of aborting them. There's more here. Lots of little baby ones. I've got some big ones back here. Back here. Here. And down below, I have a clone of my black cherry that's coming along nicely. I have a loofah gourd. I sprouted 2, only 1 survived. Next to that is another clone. That's a black crim, and it's doing well. And this here is the black cherry tomato. It has a lot of fruit on it. Here, 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 there, and you just go up, and actually it's taller than I am now, and it's taller than our gazebo here, our little shade. Here's another melon, and it's doing really well. It's growing very tall. I think I see a baby here. There we go. So I am looking forward to melons. Here is our blackberry bush, and it was saved from Lowe's or Home Depot's, I don't know, they were on sale, and you can see the older leaves, not so happy, but once it got transplanted into this pot, younger leaves, nice, healthy. Next to that is my daughter's little mini rose bush. She wanted this. We potted it a few years back. It's doing really nicely. Some lovely little baby roses. Very cute. This is my herb pot, and this is a huge pot. And it's really overgrown. But here are my chives, as you can see, pretty tall. Next to it is all the basil, and I'm going to be giving this a haircut soon. Make some walnut pesto. My rosemary, that's a couple of years old, and it's gotten to be a large bush. English thyme, just kind of trailing off the side there. It's my son in the background. He's playing outside. And here is my sage. That is the same sage bush that I planted. I cut it back, and it comes back every year. This is probably going on its 5th year. I don't know. Same with the rosemary. And next to that pot is the mint. Yet another melon plant. And these all seem to have gotten infected at the same time. So you see the lower ones, not so great, but the upper leaves, much healthier. And I believe I have a baby growing right there. Some more melons. Okay, my husband and father-in-law love melons, so hence the tons of melons. And this one has grown, again, taller than the gazebo. I don't know what I'm going to do after that. But this one has a lot more melons. Baby here, go around the corner. This big eye here. And thank you, Esther, for the idea of pantyhose, because I am using pantyhose to hold this sucker up. He's just getting way too heavy to let just hang down. Here's another one. Another one down below. I'm thinking about cutting a few off this plant, so they just concentrate on giving me a couple of really good melons. Finally, I go over here. This is my potatoes. And I think it's time to add more compost and roll it up. And if we go over, this is my daughter's fairy garden. Oops, oh, a ton of flies. I think I need to spray this. It's her little fairy garden. You can see the little mushroom that says faith. And there's a lot of little new flowers growing in it. And next to that is the apple tree that we bought. It was on sale, half off. I believe it's a gala. It will be going where that tree is right now. That is a Brazilian pepper tree. It's huge, it's beautiful, it's very healthy. The bees love it. Yet, we kind of figure we'd like to, if we're going to spend the money to water it and fertilize it and keep it happy, we'd like to get something off of it, eat it. So that's going to go. I don't know what this bush is called, but it smells really good when you touch it. My husband hates it, but I think it's great. And next to that is another rose bush. That rose, I believe, is called Perfect Moment. It's spent at this point, so it'll die off. That rose bush is Julia Child, and this, I don't know what it's called. It's little white roses. So that, oh, I'm almost, not quite done. Trampoline for the kids to play on. And a little swing set. But here is our dwarf lime, and it is a dwarf. It is tiny. It maybe goes up to my knees, but I got some limes. This is its 3rd year in the ground, and it's producing limes. Right next to it is a dwarf lemon. This year it decided to put on growth, and it dropped all of its flowers at the beginning in spring, and is now just putting on flowers. It also has a really bad iron deficiency, and we just keep adding iron. Keep adding iron. It'll get situated eventually. Looks like I might have a fruit there. Go next to it, here is the arbor I use for my pole beans. I just let them grow over that, and they do really well. And finally, this is the newest project, our last raised bed. You can see it gets a lot of shade from the neighbor's trees, so this is where a lot of our greens will be going. Another fern. That's called a melaleuca tree. And I just love like the organic shape and how gnarly it looks. So that is my garden. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.